Word processors are used just about everywhere in people's personal and working lives. They are used extensively in business, at school and other places of learning, and in most homes. And given the wide range of tasks that the modern word processor can perform, it's not surprising. In this program, we'll take a close look at the most common word processing software, Microsoft Word. We'll be featuring Word 2007. We'll investigate the new tool's interface, the ribbon, and various steps including starting a new document, formatting with styles and themes, adding artwork to documents, and preparing work for print. We'll start with an introduction to Word 2007, then look at Word's formatting tools in two parts: drawing pictures and tables, sharing, reviewing, and managing documents. Starting Word 2007 is the same as for previous versions. Go down to the Start menu and browse through all programs, Microsoft Office, and select Microsoft Word 2007. If you've used this program before, you could choose the larger icon in the Start menu. The program starts as before, but the actual interface is quite different. In the past, there was just a menu bar at the top of the document. In the 2007 version, this has been replaced with an area called the ribbon. The ribbon is a context-sensitive toolbar which changes depending on what you are doing and the tools and options you might need. Let's take a closer look at the options available in the ribbon. You'll see that the ribbon has been divided into tabs, each dedicated to specific tools and functions. Going from left to right, we have Home, Insert, Page Layout, References, Mailings, Review, and View. The Home tab contains all the basic formatting and editing controls. It's where you can alter the font size and colour, as well as text alignment and styles. The Insert tab has various ways to insert tables, images, clip art, headers and footers into your page. Page Layout gives you control over the shape of the page and lets you adjust things like orientation, margins, page breaks, and watermarks. References is the area where you can set up tables of contents, references used in your document, citations, tables of figures, cross-referencing, and these can be automatically updated as the content of your document changes. Mailings let you set up mailouts and mail merges based on your document. Review is where you can compare previous versions of your document or have more than one person working on the same document and be able to share changes. Review also has useful tools like spelling and grammar checks and a thesaurus. It also lets you protect your document so you can encrypt it and restrict who has access to it. In View, you have the option to see what your document will look like in different formats. For example, Print Layout shows you what it would look like printed. Full Screen Reading is designed for reading documents. This view hides most of the toolbars and offers a number of options to improve readability. Web Layout shows the page as it would appear if it were a web page. Outline displays the outlining tools so you can see where paragraphs start. Draft shows the page without elements like headers and footers, so you can quickly edit the text on the page. The View tab also lets you view multiple pages at once and control how they are shown on the monitor. All of the file management commands like New, Print and Save are now located under the large Office button on the top left-hand side of the screen. If we quickly run through these commands, we have New to open a blank untitled Word document, Open to open an existing Word document, Save to save your work to disk, and Save As to save another version of your work, either just as another copy with a different name or in a different format. This is important in Word 2007 because Word now uses a different file format to previous versions of Word. The new format called DocX is able to store features new to Word 2007 and is generally smaller than the previous doc format, so it's easier to send via email. But if you're sending your work to someone using an older version of Word, you'll need to save as an older Word 97/2003 format. Alternatively, the person with the older version of Word can get a compatibility plugin, which is available from Microsoft. Continuing down the Office button menu, we have Print, with the submenus Print, which lets you choose a printer, the number of copies, and things like page size and orientation. Quick Print, which sends a document directly to your default printer without making any changes. And Print Preview, which displays the page as it would look when it's printed, before sending it to the printer. The Office button also houses the Word Options button, which lets us choose how Word and Word documents are displayed. There is also an area just to the right of the Office button called the Quick Access toolbar, which you can customise to contain the tools you use on a regular basis. The settings for the Quick Access toolbar are available under this pop-down menu. For example, you might want to add the Spelling and Grammar button. Just select Spelling and Grammar from the list and the button appears in the toolbar. It's just as easy to remove unwanted buttons. In this way, you can customise the toolbar to contain all the buttons you need. You can also set the toolbar to appear below the ribbon, although it uses less screen space when it is in the default position above the ribbon. A very useful feature, which is within the Quick Access toolbar by default, is the Undo and Redo option. Many will be familiar with the ability to undo an action. Most programs have this function. But in Word 2007, we also get a history of the recent commands and actions, and we can use this list to step back and forth through a number of actions. If you're working on a small monitor and need to increase the amount of space used for your document, you can use the Quick Access toolbar pop-down to set the ribbon to minimise. With the ribbon set to minimise, only the tab headers are visible, giving you more space for your document. When you access tools within each tab, the ribbon shows, allowing you to make your selection, then disappears back into the toolbar. Word 2007 has several new features and improvements. These include the new toolbar called the ribbon, a new document format, DocX, the Office button, which contains Word's file management functions, the Quick Access toolbar, which can be customised, and an Undo-Redo history. A major feature new to Word 2007 is the Live Preview option, which means that changes to text are displayed before they are applied. To see how this works, we'll first enter a body of text to work with. Then select a passage of the text and choose a different font. You'll notice that as the cursor moves over the available fonts, the text changes accordingly. Live Preview applies to many of Word 2007's formatting tools. A lot of people who have used earlier versions of Word will be familiar with styles. Styles allow you to quickly format text as a heading or a subheading, or as a quote or list. Styles are a handy feature that has become more important in Word 2007, as we shall see. But Word 2007 also has an entirely new way of designing a document called themes. Themes are found under the Page Layout tab. Using themes, you can quickly change the look of your entire document. Each theme specifies a number of fonts, colours, and graphic effects for your document. Every document has a theme. The default theme for new documents is called the Office theme. And each theme can be applied across all of the Office 2007 programs, so you can have the same look for your Word documents, your PowerPoint presentations, and Excel spreadsheets. Note that themes don't replace styles. It's best to apply a style to your headings, quotes, etc. first. Then you can easily see the effect of different themes. A theme can be modified quite easily. It's possible to take a colour set from one theme and fonts from another theme. If you really like the effect you achieve, you can save it as a custom theme. There are also a lot of new themes available on the Microsoft Office website. But there's more. Word 2007 has a third way of designing documents called Quick Styles, found under the Change Styles button in the Home tab. Quick Styles use your current theme colours and font groups, but change the page layout, which theme font is dominant, and so on. A simple analogy is that the theme colours, fonts and graphic effects are like a list of formatting ingredients, and each quick style is like a recipe. You'll need to play around with themes and quick styles a bit to get the hang of them. But on the bright side, by using different themes and quick styles, you can easily create a unique but unified look for your document. Whether or not you choose to use styles or themes, you can still apply standard formatting elements such as bold, italics, and underline by selecting the text and clicking on these buttons in the Home tab. You can also choose the style of underline with this pop-down menu. Further along this group of buttons, you can also make the selected text subscript, that is, smaller and sitting below the rest of the text. Or superscript, which is smaller and sitting above the surrounding text. You can also highlight a body of text, and we can choose different highlight colours too. You can also set the text alignment so that the selected text is left aligned, centred, or right aligned. You can also make it justified, which spreads the words within each line so both edges of the paragraph are straight. The space between each line of text is also adjustable, as is the space between paragraphs. One way to give emphasis to an important part of your page can be to put a border around the text. The pop-down menu next to the Borders and Shading button lets you toggle on and off the various border options. For example, you might only want the border to show on the right side of the text, on all of the edges, or only on the outer edges. By selecting the Borders and Shading option at the bottom of the menu, you can choose from a range of preset borders and shadows, or customize your own by choosing the type of line colour, and width. At the bottom of this window, there is also a button that lets you choose from a number of colourful horizontal lines that can be useful to separate different areas of a page. If you need to display a list of items on your page, it can be useful to itemize the list with bullet points. To use bullets, select the text and click the Bullets button. Once again, there are many options for the image used for the bullet under the pop-down menu. The other two buttons in this cluster are for making numbered or multi-level lists. Something which you should keep in mind when designing your document is to avoid using too many conflicting fonts, colours, and generally filling your page with clutter. This is where using styles and themes to choose font groups and colours can really improve the appearance of your work. So now that we've gone over where the tools are and what they do, let's have another look at how we can use them to make your documents visually appealing and easy to interpret. Starting with a page of text, we'll define the title and headings using the styles available in the Home tab. Note that if you set each heading using the heading style, Word can automatically generate a contents page for you, using the heading text as labels for the contents page. We'll look at that in more detail later. Now we'll select a document theme from the Page Layout tab. And finally, let's apply a quick style to the page. The live preview shows us how each style will look before it is applied. A big advantage to using this method is that if you later decide you'd prefer the page to be different, it's just a matter of changing one setting. Or if a page which you designed to be printed needs to be repurposed for an email newsletter or a web page, then we can change from a style with serified fonts to one with sans serif fonts, which can be much clearer on a computer monitor. Again, changes are made to the entire page by changing a single setting. Word 2007 puts a strong emphasis on document design with features such as styles, themes, and quick styles. It is also possible to format text manually using the tools on the Home tab. These include standard font formatting tools, paragraph alignment, and line spacing, as well as borders, shading, and list-making tools. In this chapter, we'll look at the Page Layout tab, as well as some of the tools on the View tab and the Insert tab. Most of the tools on the Page Layout tab control the look of the whole document, rather than individual pieces of text. In the Page Setup cluster, we can set the size of the page margins, whether the page will be portrait, up and down, or landscape, sideways. We can also specify the size of the document. Some standard paper sizes are listed to choose from. You can choose to have the page divided into columns, and there are options for how many columns you'd like. You can insert page breaks to indicate where a new page should start printing. This is a much better option than entering a number of empty lines, because a proper page break will adjust to changes in font size and save you from making print mistakes later on. You can also set Word to show line numbers, which can be useful for proofreading. You might need to embed a watermark as a way to communicate information about the document to other people. There are a number to choose from. You can choose to set a page colour. This will alter the colour of all the pages within your document. Once again, you can use the theme-based colours to keep your colour range within a chosen theme. Be aware that if you're intending to print your document, setting a page colour will use a lot of coloured ink. This feature is probably more useful for documents that will remain electronic. Similar to the page colour command is the page border option, but here we get more elements to use, such as shading, drop shadows, and various types of borders, which can go around the whole page or just a section of it. These border and shading options are the same ones that we looked at under the border menu in the Home tab. At the very left of the Page Layout tab are the theme controls that we discussed in the previous chapter. Under the View tab, click the Ruler checkbox to show the rulers. This also shows the page margin widths and the tab settings. The blue arrowheads on the ruler indicate the indent settings. The top arrow sets the first line indent. The lower arrow sets a hanging indent. Dragging the box below the arrows moves both indent settings together. A very useful way to format paragraphs is with tabs. Tabs are preset points on the ruler which the cursor will snap to when you hit the tab key. To set tab points, simply click on the ruler. A small L-shaped icon will indicate the location of the tab. This is often used to line up text on different rows and is much faster and more accurate than trying to line up text using the spacebar. You can move a tab point by clicking and dragging on it. To remove a tab point, click on it and drag it down off the ruler. Within the Insert tab are the buttons to add headers and footers. Headers and footers can be used to create a statement which is relevant throughout the entire document. For example, business stationery might have a header with the company logo and footer with the address and contact details. To apply a basic header, click the Insert button and type the title within the given text area. Footers use the same style as the header. So with the header already in place, you simply need to click the Go to Footer button and enter your footer information into the space provided. Adding page numbers to your pages can also be useful. When you click on the page number button, you'll see there are a number of options available. The numbers can be at the top or bottom of the pages. Once you have chosen to display page numbers, if you decide to change how they are displayed, this is done through either the Headers or Footers button, depending on whether the numbers are at the top or bottom of the page. The tools on the Page Layout tab allow you to control the look of the whole document with page setup and page background options. The View tab lets us show the ruler, so we can set indents and tabs. The Insert tab contains the header and footer button and the page numbering options. So far, we've only looked at formatting text, so let's take a look at how to add some artwork to pages. We have many options. We can add photographs, JPEGs and GIFs. We can create artwork within Word or make use of Word Art. First, let's take a look at Word Art. Word Art can be a quick way to make graphical titles to add impact. Under the Insert tab, click on the word Art button. This brings up a range of styles. Click on one to choose the colour and shape of your title. Then enter the text to be used in the word Art. And choose the font, font size, and whether it's bold or italicized. In general, Word Art works best with heavy fonts, but experiment to see what works best for your page layout. Once the Word Art has been created on the page, the ribbon changes to show the Word Art Tools Format tab. You can alter the height and width by clicking on it to select it, and move the small blue handles to adjust the size. If you hold the Shift key as you resize it, the height and width will resize at the same rate. Even if your Word Art has a shadow or 3D effect, you can use the options within the Word Art Tools Format tab to change the shadow effect. 3D effects, 3D colour, depth, lighting effects, object material, even the shape and colour. The possible variations are virtually endless. If after adjusting your Word Art to get it looking exactly as you like it, you need to change the text, there's an Edit Text option available too. If you aren't already in the Word Art Tools Format tab, double-click the Word Art and you'll see the Edit Text option on the very left of the ribbon. Now let's look at adding images to your page. To add an image, click the Picture button under the Insert tab. You'll be asked to locate the image you want to use. When you've made your choice, the image will appear on your page at the cursor location. If you move the cursor over the image, it will change to a set of arrows which let you move the image around the page. You can also resize the image with the blue handles. The corner handles change the height and width together. The square handles on the sides change just the height or width. You can also rotate the image using the green handle on the top of the image. When the image is selected, you'll see that the ribbon changes to show the Picture Tools Format tab. Using these tools, you can manipulate the image in a number of ways. At the moment, the image is taking up a lot of the page space, so we'll start by changing the size. And setting the text to wrap around the image. There are a number of text wrapping options and it's worth experimenting with them. The square option is useful when you want the text to run around a photograph. But if we wanted to use the image as a background, then you could set the image to sit behind the text. You can also choose how the image interacts with text using the position button. This will also set where the image sits on the page. We can change the shape of the image, apply a border, adjust the size of the border. We can also change the style of the border. As with the word art, there is a huge range of effects which we can apply to an image. The presets are combinations of effects already made up for you. Or you can create your own by adjusting the shadow, reflection, glow, soft edges, bevel, and 3D rotation settings individually. There is also a range of picture styles to choose from if you're after something quick and easy. However, be careful when using these effects. It can be easy to get carried away. You'll often get a much better overall effect by keeping it simple. If you want to undo all the effects and revert to the original image, click on the Reset Picture button in the Adjust Tools cluster. The sample image we're using here looks pretty good, but if the picture you're working with needs adjusting to be made brighter or darker, there is a set of tools you can use. Again, there are presets which you can use, or you can adjust the image yourself. You can also add artwork to your page using Clip Art. Clicking on the Clip Art button in the Insert tab brings up a search window, which lets you find clip art on your computer and select from the huge range of clip art available from Office Online. Once you've found a piece of clip art which you'd like to use, click on it and it will be placed on your page. Altering and adjusting clip art is exactly the same as for images, and you'll see that when the clip art is selected, all of the same picture tools are available in the ribbon. You can also create artwork within Word using shapes. Select a shape from the menu, then click and drag on the page to place the shape and make it bigger. With the shape selected, you can apply styles, shadows, outlines, and manipulate it as we did for the image. You can also place text within a shape, and this can be an easy way to make a caption for your images. With the shape selected, click the Edit Text button, a small button found in the Insert Shapes cluster. You can now type within the shape. To format the text, select it and move the cursor towards the top of the text box. Or you can select the text and return to the Home tab for a full range of formatting options. Text boxes, clip art, shapes and images can all be moved around the page. When you have elements overlapping each other, use the Bring to Front and Send to Back to choose how they appear. Tables can be very useful for arranging text and images. To place a table on your page, click the Table button under the Insert tab. From here, you choose how many rows and columns your table will have. You can move the table with the top left corner handle. You can adjust the size of the table with the handle on the bottom right corner. And you can resize the cells within the table. Again, you are given a wide range of formatting options in the ribbon. Also, within the Insert tab are buttons for creating mathematical equations and symbols. Clicking the bottom of the equation button gives you a list of pre-made equations. Clicking the top of the equation button brings up an equation editor and gives you a list of pre-made equations. The Symbols button gives you a range of useful symbols like the copyright symbol, trademark, and mathematical symbols. You can access more symbols by clicking on the button at the bottom of the drop-down menu. Choose the symbol you want, click Insert, then close the window when you've finished. When you're working on multi-page documents, you may need to generate a table of contents page. This is something Word 2007 can generate automatically. Word searches your document for text elements that have had the heading style applied and uses those as the label in the contents page. Select where you want the table of contents to appear. Usually this is placed at the start of the document. Then under the References tab, click the Table of Contents button. You'll be given a couple of choices for automatic tables and one for a manual table. If we choose an automatic table, all the labels are generated for us. If you later change the page heading or change the number of pages, you can get the table of contents to update by clicking on it to select it and then clicking on the Update Table button. You can add impact to your documents by using word art, images, clip art, and shapes. Numerous graphic effects can be added to any of these items. It's also possible to insert symbols, equations, or tables into your document. Word 2007 can automatically generate a table of contents for your document if your headings have been formatted using the heading style. Word 2007 has a range of tools to let you check your finished document. It also lets you combine your work with others if you're working on a group project. One of the first things to do is a spelling and grammar check. In the Review tab, click on the Spelling and Grammar button. If the check finds anything unusual, you'll be presented with a dialog box asking if you want the word in question changed or not. There is a thesaurus available which you can use to find variations of a word. Select the word and click the thesaurus button. You'll be given a list of alternative words. If you'd like to use one of them, select it and choose Insert from the side menu. There is a translation option too. You'll need to be online for this to work properly. Select the word or passage that you'd like translated. Click the Translate button and choose your language options. After a few seconds, your translation will appear. You can then copy and paste this into your page. There is also a word count option, which will let you know the size of your document. You can enter proofreading comments as a way to communicate to others working on the document or as reminders to yourself. Before printing a large document, it's a good idea to do a print preview of the document. This will show you what the page will look like printed without using any paper or inks. The print preview option is in the Office button under the Print option. If you think the document is ready to print, click on the Print button in the top left. However, if you'd like to continue editing your pages, click the Close Print Preview button to return. If you're creating a form, a letterhead or any other frequently used layout, it's a good idea to save it as a template. You will be able to make new documents based on the template without changing the original. To save a template, go to the Office button, choose Save As, then Save as Word Template. If you need the template to be accessible by older versions of Word, use the Save As Type menu below the Name area to select Word 97/2003 template. Having put all this time and effort into creating your document, you might want to secure it. Clicking the Protect Document button lets you restrict changes to the formatting or to prevent any changes at all being made to your document. You can choose to let certain people make changes by entering their email addresses into the list of exceptions. You'll need to be online for this to work. You can also encrypt your document with a password. The encryption settings are under the Office button in the Prepare area. If you do decide to encrypt it, be very careful not to lose your password. All access to the document will be lost without it. Word 2007 has a range of tools for document checking. These include spelling and grammar, a thesaurus and a translation option. Other tools include word count, non-printing comments, and the ability to preview before printing. It's also possible to save frequently used layouts as templates. Word 2007 allows you to protect your document from changes and to encrypt sensitive documents. Word 2007 is packed with useful features. We haven't been able to go through all of them here, which could take days. But knowing how to use the tools we've covered in this program will make using Word rewarding and enable you to create appealing documents with a truly professional edge. Practice is the best way to improve familiarity with any software application. If you keep practicing, you'll be a power user in next to no time.